We have our winners finals, Online Warriors versus Quadrant. Who is going into that grand final spot? I got KotH and I got Sherzy to figure that one out. Fellas, it's over to you.
Thanks so much, Lottie. We finally decided that we will be starting the game very shortly. Wes, King of the Hill Streets coming up. We spoke about the differences in teams and how strategies are going to be very, very important in controlling spawns. But something else we didn't talk about is controlling the sandbox around that, maybe having to prioritize picking up weapons and giving up a bit of free time along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. The Bulldog shotgun, the rockets, they've been pivotal in a lot of the games so far here today. I mean, we watched Morga go on a killing frenzy with the Bulldog and the rockets paired together. That was very influential in their victory over Navi. So we'll see which players in this match versus Online Warriors and Quadrant get to dictate the pace, get to set the tone with the power weapons early on. And you can best believe that those rockets, especially paired with an objective that is location-based, stagnant like that, are so influential into breaking setups, into holding setups, and achieving these points. So very excited to see the first King of the Hill on Streets on broadcast here and now.
Online Warriors then, they've ran the gauntlet and they find themselves in the winners finals as we now head into game of 5 territory. Game 3s have been good to them, but it's time to do it over an extended period of time. 3 go down here for Quadrant right off the rip, and rockets in the hands of that man Respectful.
4 dead for online, or 4 dead for Quadrant now, and Online Warriors already in the hill. These rockets can create so much separation, but they don't find home, and Respectful, he gets taken down. A 2-2 trade, and that's a beautiful job by Quadrant to come off spawn against weapons and figure out ways to trade efficiently.
That's 2 dead again for Quadrant here. And they are trading out here, our Online Warriors. They're off to a flyer. And I've already started to tick that hill significantly now as it heads very quickly over the halfway point. Respectful is going to be the first pick. That should mean Quadrant get to break this setup. Shad's picked up another one in the feed. 3 dead. phlux last man alive, but he's managed to lock in a killing spree for his team. Can he lock in one more? Yes, he can. Picks up a double kill, but he has had to concede the hill and wait for the rest of his team to spawn up as he does eventually go down in tires.
You want to see him stay alive there, but phlux doing a great job to find 2 by himself, and that relieves a lot of the pressure Quadrant would have been able to apply to Online Warriors coming off their spawn. We'll see what they're able to do now. Look at that drop wall from Mose on top heaven. Not often do you see it placed exactly up there, especially with that hill over by pillars. It can be so influential, but SLG, he goes through the wall, he takes him down, and with it, it looks like a few kills going back and forth now as Quadrant continuing to try and slay out. SLG can't quite find that kill onto the Online Warriors, and because of it, it's going to leave NURIX by himself in hill for now.
Only needs about 8 more seconds here to secure hill number 1 after that fantastic start the Online Warriors got. You've seen the feed. Respectful's picked up a ninja, but will that be enough to drive into this hill and close the gap? Snakey enters now just to try and contest, does a fantastic job of it. TchiK in arcade, rocket rains down, death and destruction as Respectful picks up a double kill in the feed, and they're now looking to score their opening point.
Look how close this point is right now. The bars are so narrowly towards the end, and Online Warriors get it done off the back of Respectful, collecting that second pair of rockets, putting them to use. They secure that point, and that point was as close as it gets when it comes to scoring in this, but all it results in is a 1-0 lead for now for Online Warriors.
phlux, he's been a demon so far in this game. We've seen him get that killing spree for his team. 11 kills total now. Respectful opens up the engagement, but Shad and TchiK will do the damage to send him away. 2 dead now. You've seen Quadrant start to turn their attentions towards the hill. phlux desperately trying to stay alive front base, unable to do so down at sea. Quadrant do have a little semblance of control here. Spawn should favor them just a touch here, but Respectful is looking to come in and break down the door, and he's done so successfully.
Yeah, the rest of the Quadrant spawning towards that B stronghold position up towards the top stairs is going to be so difficult for them to break in. Look at that. They decide to push the middle of the map. Mose cuts one of them off, trades across the board once again, but if Respectful can stay alive, just keeping a player alive in tram can do so much work for this stronghold, or for this hill. Unfortunately, he's got multiple members now of Quadrant surrounding him. He's able to stay alive, get a kill himself. Can he get the double? He gets the melee before getting taken down onto NURIX, and that creates the opening for potentially Online Warriors to secure some more time in this hill.
TchiK, last man alive, but he's a fresh spawner. over towards that cafe side. NURIX front base. Shots take him down. But Snakey is going to be the first one to get picked here. But Quadrant still waiting to get back to a full complement of players. And phlux manages to pick a player over towards Arcade. And Shad does not need to lose his life there. Mose finally gets eliminated, even if it was from a teammate from phlux. phlux is killing everything that moves. He's not even caring about his teammates. They're going hitting the respawn screen too. But it's now 2-0 to Online Warriors. Quadrant are on the ropes.
A third pair of rockets for Respectful, and that achieves the second point for Online Warriors. He's able to use this rocket to create the opening pick to try and push on to this tower stronghold. It's in the courtyard now. They have multiple members stuck towards the cafe. That's an easy rocket once again for Respectful, and he is putting these power weapons to use. Respectful 14-5-5, phlux 13-2-7, creating such a difference maker are these two right now for the Online Warriors to take game one.
They're scoring more now. Over towards PD statue. Snakey's the first line of contact, and he's managed to pick up a kill.
Oh my God.
Along the way. 3 dead once more. Make it 4. Quadrant are not able to match the pace right now. They're in trouble.
2 more for Respectful as he knocks it up to 16. They got him all spawning back tower. And look at this, Jersey. 1 more push is all Quadrant are going to be able to have here on this courtyard stronghold, or it's going to be a 3-0 game. The first kill, it goes to Snakey. It is traded out, and the push towards PD looks to have been a successful one for now. It's a 2v2, and if Respectful and the boys on Online Warriors can win this 2v2, they will secure an insurmountable lead right now. 3 minutes on the clock, and just like that, the teamwork for Online Warriors stands true. And right now, as the clock continues to dwindle, it's going to work in Online Warriors' favor as well.
Something we've not spoke about, Wes, is as Online Warriors do close in on making it the third hill, Respectful steps in, but it's only going to be for a moment, as now we're seeing Quadrant have the numbers advantage for the first time in a very long time. But if Online Warriors do manage to get that 3-0 lead, it can be very difficult to not only capture 3 strongholds, but all of a sudden that game clock starts to play a massive factor.
Yeah, that game clock is going to be the factor if they're able to secure this. Shad in the hill for now, trying to figure out a way to come back here. Rockets are up. Respectful getting that kill is a big one, but NURIX, he found himself the rockets, found himself a double, and now with 2 rockets in the chamber, he needs to move quickly. You got to get him out. Unfortunately, the rocket is not on par. He misses it just narrowly, and because of that, Online Warriors secure that 3rd point. It rotates over to Cafe, and now Quadrant on the ropes here in game 1.
If Online Warriors choose to, they can just play Slayer from here on out. Make sure the hill stays clear. They do not have to hold it, because that shot clock will start to play a factor. It's 2 minutes and 30, and they will get the win. Quadrant have to get 3 unanswered hills here to close the gap. That's just to tie up the game, regardless of taking the lead. Respectful picks up 1 in the feed. NURIX is going to be the first one to fall for Quadrant, but Online Warriors are down to just 2 here, but it is 2 of the big guns. It's Respectful and phlux looking to clear out, and they've done so successfully over towards Cafe.
Yeah, it's the 2 players you don't want to see alive if you're a Quadrant fan. Unfortunately, they're able to get a little bit of the pressure from Quadrant out of that hill for just the meantime. But this could be a very quick point for Quadrant. They dominated this entire cafe setup. Because of it, they are moments away from being able to capture this one, making it just a 3-1 lead. And now all of a sudden the clock may be less of a factor, but you need that similar dominance. And unfortunately, the next hill, Jersey, it's bottom middle. This bottom middle hill is so difficult to capture because it's so susceptible to so many angles. And just like that, they try to hop in it, but Respectful immediately removes them from that situation. Look at this, wash, rinse, repeat. Time is on your side. He gets another assist from a player no shield with that bulldog, and I love this by Respectful, just camping this tires area, making sure that if Quadrant get in this hill, they're getting out of it quickly.
Respectful recognizing with the bulldog, if he sits tires, he can drop into the hill. Bulldog, whoever's in there. Rockets are going to be picked up yet again here, Wes. Do Quadrant even know they're on the map at times? When they have got it, it's not been for very long. 4 dead momentarily for Quadrant. They do start to spawn PD, but they're going to run straight into Respectful and tires. That's the avenue that they choose to explore off the rip here. Snake is going to be the first pick at the hands of Shad. And they have got shotgun, but Respectful is just playing time here, being patient, waiting for the player to step in. It's going to be Shad to lose his life first time of asking. And now TchiK's in trouble, and he will also join him. 2 dead here, TchiK and Shad.
The power weapon's so influential here in game 1. Respectful finding himself a 3rd set of rockets, 22 kills to his name, but not to be outdone. Snakey and phlux, they've done damage of their own. Mose with 10 assists as well. The entire team clicking throughout this tournament. It doesn't look like it's going to change with best of fives. It doesn't look like it's going to change because it's Quadrant. Online Warriors are here to play, and with 1 minute and 18 seconds on the clock, Quadrant have got to play perfect Halo, and I'm not sure Online Warriors is going to let that happen.
That hill has been down for over a minute now, Wes, and Quadrant have made absolutely zero progress, minuscule progress really, in controlling it and taking it for the team. Online Warriors playing this perfectly here. Like we spoke about, the clock was always going to play a factor towards the bottom middle hill, and that's exactly what we've seen into the last minute now, the last knockings. Quadrant have to not only control this bottom middle hill perfectly, but the next one to follow, and it's a tough ask, it's a tall order.
Yeah, look at that positioning from phlux there too. I love that. Just sitting in the back of tram, you got the snipe or the stalker rifle, I'm sorry, in hand, and when you're able to do that much damage from long range with that thing, sitting in the back, just delaying them from getting any hill time, putting down some DPS is so important in phlux. I love the strategy, the meta that we're seeing evolve already from this team. It's that stalker rifle on the back of tram that made this hill so difficult for Quadrant, and Quadrant, they haven't but made just a bit of a nudge on this 5th hill, and because of it, 24 seconds now and ticking. They need to figure out a way to play to get in the hill and to stay alive, but unfortunately Respectful, he's able to find yet a 4th pair of rockets, put him to work, and even though he takes himself out in doing so, that's just more time off the clock for Online Warriors.
There's a very clear plan in place here for Online Warriors. Get into C and do that damage in the players sitting in hill. 8 seconds, just 9 seconds, excuse me. Drop shield's gone down in the hill, but Whiten's on the wall here. Game 1 will be going to Online Warriors. It just will not be enough from Quadrant. You can see Respectful grenades himself almost in celebration. Game 1 goes to Online Warriors. We're in for a tough series here for Quadrant.
Quadrant looking like everybody else so far this tournament, just a step behind Online Warriors. How fast Online Warriors are playing, how dominant they were in that power weapon story. It's what made the difference. Respectful continuing to add to that KD ratio that he's had such a great performance so far through the day, 28 and 14 on his behalf. And it's because he's setting himself up for success, right? He's not just 28 and 14 because he's beaming. He's 28 and 14 because he's beaming and he's positioning himself on time to get rockets. He's getting those rockets, putting them to use to get easy kills, making the 3rd and 4th kills much easier when you have the numbers advantage, when you have the teamwork. Those BR kills, they're easy when you have that opportunity, and Online Warriors are seizing those opportunities every single time. And looking at the damage, I mean, it's Snakey with 6,800, it's Respectful with 65, and his teammates just 1,000 behind. But for Snakey to be able to keep up with Respectful, that should tell you how good he's playing as well.
And on the other side of things, the old sticks come through once more. That Quadrant can be really good at times. They have high highs, but they have low lows, and they find themselves here being absolutely dominated in game 1. But how successful they were in Kansas City, we expect them to maybe ride that momentum into these next few competitions, and indeed into Valencia, as we do finally get on board with that Respectful ninja in the kill feed and in the replay package there. But let's talk about Quadrant and what they didn't do right in game 1.
I mean, even from the get-go, they just didn't have control of the map. It felt like they were always playing at a weapon at a numbers disadvantage. They've got to figure out a way to slow it down, to reset and to gain control of the map. It felt like that game 1 from their perspectives, whenever we were able to flip to it, it was chaotic. It was sporadic. It was very difficult positions from everyone's point of view to try and deal with a player with the Bulldog shotgun, with the rockets, with the numbers down, right? Those are so difficult situations to be in. If you're Quadrant, you got to slow it down. You got to regain. You got to get an opportunity to get the first pick yourselves. And then from there, you can play the game you know and love. But until you're able to do that first step, it's going to be so difficult to try and come back. I love what we're seeing out of Online Warriors on a pace conversation. The way that they've been able to set the pace in every game so far today, outside of the first game against Ascend, has been something that is necessary to have the success that they've had so far today. And I think that when you look at Cloud9, when you look at Sentinels, when you look at Optic Gaming, they are the best in the world when it comes to setting the pace. Online Warriors taking a little note out of their books, able to figure out a way to do that themselves to make it fit their play style. And then jumping into game 2, we'll see if they're able to create the same formula here on Aquarius.
Game 2 then will be Slayer Aquarius. And Game 1 was a respectful show. phlux was definitely in the credits as well, but he was able to control the sandbox. Bulldog seemed to be, and Tire seemed to be his home, and only really dropped the Bulldog when the Rockets spawned up. He was controlling the game from the get-go. And that is why he put up such an incredible and such an impressive stat line. But can he replicate that here in Game 2 in the Slayer? And right off the rip, somehow Shad's managed to find a pick.
It's a big pick. It's the first time I feel like Quadrant have had numbers all day. And with that, look at that. Shad able to secure camo as well. So Quadrant fans, rest easy. It's a long series. It's the best of 5. No more best of 3s for the day. And Shad putting that camo to work to take down the Heat Wave player. And all of a sudden you're seeing a little bit of momentum, a little bit of control can benefit a team. They've already jumped out to a 3-1 lead.
Shad has a little bit of camouflage left, opting to get back to his team as it does now dissipate. Snakey has been left alone in the top of that base, and they're going to try and clear him out here now. Snakey recognizes that, starts to back up. You can see he's in full crouch. He knows he's not safe. His surroundings are not clear. Heatwave stepping in. They're going to clear the corners. That's going to be an easy kill for them. +1 in the feed. A 3-kill advantage now. And with 3 members of Online Warriors set up in one closet area, if a sizzle stick lands in there, there's going to be hell to pay. 2 members go down here. 2 players down to no shields. Can a triple kill be locked in for TchiK? No, it can't. But the damage has been done. 7 kills to 3.
Yeah, TchiK looking like he was in no man's land, surrounded by 3 players, able to play the situation perfectly. Can't get the triple, but the damage was done like you said. The lead extends from 7 to 4 now, and control of the map still in Quadrant's favor. Sizzle Stick's doing some work, doing some burns. phlux, he's gonna come off respawn after that one, and 9 to 5. Quadrant looked like a completely different team with a little bit of control.
When you give this team control, they will make you pay. phlux has gotten a kill, but it's only to trade out as his teammate Mose hit the respawn screen. Heatwave's going to do the damage even at that distance. This TchiK locks onto his opponent, respectful, and fries his shields, gets the job done, finishes that kill with the battle rifle. But camouflage is about to pop now. Mose expertly knows that, sits his team and situates them top middle. Will they be the one to make a move to try and secure this camouflage as NURIX looks to stop them in the tracks? Mose down car 1, will get eliminated. That sizzle stick won't do the damage required to stop that push, but this has opened the door now for SLG to pick up the camouflage, only for Snakey, and indeed respectful to shut it down before he can get up ahead of steam. It's now just a 2-kill game. Quadrant 2 dead.
With as much control as Quadrant has had so far here in Game 2, Online Warriors, like you said, just 2 kills behind, and they look to keep momentum. They look to press. For the first time in the game, they have control of the map. They know exactly where Quadrant are. Can they have a successful push to land some of these kills is the question. The Heatwave can't quite get the job done. 3 go down for Online Warriors, and Quadrant do a phenomenal job to subside the pressure that Online Warriors were looking to press right there.
Has to be spoken about as this lead has extended to a 6-kill game here, Wes. Confidence-wise, if Online Warriors were to take this game, that would do them the world of good. They would only be 1 game away from grand finals, and that might be all they need to push them over the edge. So Quadrant, this player is perhaps more important than we might anticipate.
Absolutely. It would be an amazing opportunity for these guys to win this series, to find themselves in the grand finals. Something probably no one was going to predict at the start of the day, but the Game 2 win would put yourself in such a good position in order to do so. How hungry are the Online Warriors right now? We're going to find out. As respectful, he finds himself a double. Unfortunately, it's answered immediately back with 3 of their own from Quadrant, and 25 to 18. Quadrant have extended the lead to 7.
One man that's been hungry and feeding on the Online Warriors is going to be Shad. 10 kills, 4 assists, and only 4 deaths. +6 now in his innings in game number 2. 7-kill lead. 2 players positioned in top base, but Shad's in a world of hurt here as he desperately tries to live and do a little bit of damage on the way out. A fadeaway shot in the dark's not going to be enough though. NURIX has cleaned up phlux, and as his TchiK on the Snakey. 2 dead here for Online Warriors. TchiK will pick up the camouflage and be a little bit more successful in surviving than SLG was just beforehand. But can it start to play a factor? And now a 10-kill game. Quadrant started to put real distance between them and Online Warriors.
And it directly correlates with the dominant control, the power up so far throughout this game. Although the second camo necessarily got burned by SLG, Quadrant have had all 3 camos so far throughout this game. Online Warriors are struggling to figure out ways to get control here in game 2, and because of it, it directly results in the scoreline of the 10 kill difference here, 35-25.
What can Online Warriors do then? Just to stop some of this momentum. Squash it if they can. Respectful P2. He's not going to have enough in the tank to get the job done. TchiK, as he so often does, he very rarely misses, and he's not looking to do it now. Back quack killing spree, double kill from the big Frenchman for his team. How at times he dragged them to that top 8 finish. We've all seen that clip all over Twitter. That overkill he locked in. Now it's just a daily occurrence for TchiK, one of the best players in Europe, proving it here again. 11 kills now, the difference.
So G with some perfect shots, but like you're saying, TchiK, I said it the first time I was watching that kid play, man. He's got the shot, he's got the awareness, he gets those beautiful shots onto the player pink. He then plays that sneaky corner door route and is able to find an easy kill as an assassination. That shows me that he has skill, that he has the heads up brain plays to match the skill, and when you have the full package like that, you create so much opportunity for your team. At 10-6 and 10 now, TchiK having himself maybe not the best statistical game, but you know his impact is felt on the other side from Online Warriors. Now 45-34 and a 5th camo of the game going into SLG's hands. Unfortunately, he goes down, but it's out of play, and another win condition for Online Warriors now with 5 kills remaining is removed from the equation.
Respectful trying to play slow, tries to pick that nade, but TchiK wary of it and moves up the stairway the opposite way. So that means the grenade explosion will not do the damage. 2 kills is all that's required now. Mose and phlux in the respawn screen. It's a 2v2 on the map. Snakey wins his engagement with the help of Respectful. They can almost just throw bodies at it now, secure and lock in game number 2 and tie up this series. Mose has picked up another one, and all of a sudden they only require 10. So Quadrant have to mind their P's and Q's, and they're in trouble. Just let this one get out of hand. One clean wipe would be the confidence they need, but unfortunately though, 1 kill, that's all that's required, and it's going to come through. We're all tied up. Quadrant do restore parity in the series, and they've managed to get themselves right back into this.
On the back of a big game from NURIX, 14 and 10 there in game 2. You wondered what the new addition to the roster, what influence he was going to have, especially after they fell short in game 1. If you're that new guy, you're looking at yourself as this is my opportunity to say, hey, Quadrant got better by picking me up, not worse. So NURIX, what does he do? He steps up, he makes plays, he creates some difference for his team, and because of it, we're looking at a tied series as we go into game 3.
That's something you highlighted in game 1 was the pace in which Online Warriors are playing and the control that they had in game 1. But game 2 was a very different story, particularly the start and indeed the mid game there, Wes. It was all Quadrant, it was all one-way traffic.
It was really all Quadrant, right? Even from the get-go, the first pick, the first camo, you saw how impactful Shad was able to be with it, taking down a heat wave player. What are you doing with that? Not only are you getting a kill, relieving some pressure, applying some map control, but you're removing a power weapon from the enemy team's hands as well. And I mean, kills like that, they speak so much more than just that 1 point that's awarded towards your team towards that 50 mark. And it showed, right? We saw how comfortable Quadrant looked when they were in control. It really is just a game of who can get control, and also when the enemy team has control, how can you get it back? How quickly can you minimize the damage that the other team is able to do with that control? Those are the 2 big influential points to try and pay attention to as you watch competitive Halo Infinite.
We spoke about statistically TchiK maybe not blowing us away, but he was definitely effective. You spoke about how his presence has been felt in the map. He seems to be making all the right decisions, but Shad, another player who put on an impressive performance, and how they would love to ride that momentum coming into game 3 with the scores all tied up. But now we're going to see again another game of CTF Catalyst, and we've seen already in this tournament how it can be a bit of a coin toss at times, particularly in that J-Ling's Navi game. But now we see which way these 2 teams are going to perform here. Who do you think this favors, Wes?
You know, I'd like to think it favored the team that has been together longer, that probably knows each other a little bit better, that understands how they want to play certain other CTF map modes, and they're able to apply that to a map like Catalyst. But in all honesty, it's a coin toss. And this map mode combo is so new that we're going to learn a lot about who's been putting in the work, who's figured out the meta a little bit better, who's able to set the tone. For me, that overshield can be such an opportunity, especially with the recent buff to it, that allows players the openings they need to trade efficiently to get into the base. So we'll see how that power up control goes. It looks like Quadrant has done a phenomenal job to not only find the first kill, but to find the skewer in SLG's hands. You know, he's great with sniper rifle like opportunities, and they've also got the overshield to pair with it.
Yeah, NURIX has picked up the overshield, and he's got a pick onto Mose. Snakey's in trouble here, being the second one to fall victim, and indeed does. But now we're going to see, like we've seen already, a bit of a flag standoff, and both these flags running towards one another here. And why is the online warrior starting to recognize that and slow down the game just a little bit? But Respectful has that sword.
Yeah, this could be a brilliant play by Respectful. He's going to slow play this. NURIX actually throws that flag right towards him. I'm not quite sure about this flag run from the side of Quadrant. The one thing you have to worry about as a sword player, the best thing is that your teammate just flanked the sword player, found the easy kill, making it a double. It was SLG that found the opening. Look at SLG go, running the flag as well. So that was 3 dead for online warriors. The lead should come in here shortly. I believe the return comes through. They're able to punch that one in with early map control. You look at how dominant Quadrant are. That flag stalemate, not very often was it going to go in online warriors' favor. Why? Because SLG had that skewer, and they had the overshield. A beautiful shot there to release some pressure as well from SLG. But I mean, when you allow that much power to go into the hands of Quadrant, it's going to be so difficult to trade efficiently.
Shad done a fantastic job of just getting away with his life. It was only for a little while, but it was enough to milk some time. Sword, though, has transferred control. Respectful gets himself out of dodge, and SLG is going to try and get a touch on this flag. Has he been successful? Yes, he has, somehow, some way. But he still has Respectful to contend with as the flag gets juggled just over his head. So this is going to be a complete standoff. Whoever wins this engagement will get a flag capture. It looks as though Respectful is in a 1v1 with SLG, and he comes out on top when his team need him most. And phlux, the last man to be a factor here. Will he try and get a touch on the flag? Looking to play a little bit patient, but has finally put his hands on that flag. A 1v1 with SLG. Can he win 2 1v1 gunnies? A pivotal 1v1. Phlux comes out on top, and Respectful also picks up 1. So that flag will not go home just yet.
Snakey able to get the return as well to keep this at a 1-0 score line. It looked like SLG did everything right up until that player was able to get the touch. And it looked like Quadrant were going to jump out to that 2-0 lead. But right now, Snakey, if he can get a touch on this, maybe keep this alive, things could continue to be interesting here. Look at how big of a nuisance SLG is trying to be on this return. However, they've got to make slight work of him. That's 2 dead for Quadrant. The flag gets touched, and Shad on the flank finds 2. So this flag still neutralized in the middle of the map for now. Will online warriors be able to capitalize on it? They should be favored with the spawns and get a touch, potentially bringing this one in. And this is going to be a 1-1 game here shortly, Sherzy.
This flag game has been back and forth. This particular flag in itself was a bit of a hot potato. It looked as though Quadrant were the favors to get it. Online warriors flipped the script, and then it was back and forth. But somehow, Snakey came up huge. He managed to not only get a flag touch to keep the flag alive, but get pivotal kills. And how he might get another one here to add to his column. Mose helps them out, as SLG will finally hit the respawn screen, but a counter cap opportunity here. But they are starting to run that flag over towards phlux and that fresh spawner. But he's face to face now with another Quadrant member, and is ultimately dispatched with the help of TchiK. And it looks as though they have played this one perfectly. They should be. With the help of a couple of slays, Respectful tries to close that distance. That grenade will do the damage required. Respectful, though, picks up one of the feed, but it's not going to be enough. Flag will get punched in. He has lost his life in the process, but Quadrant regain the lead.
Quadrant with the counter cap opportunity there. Take advantage of the moment. And with overshield coming up, they find the kills they need to not only punch that one in to subside and a counter cap opportunity from the online warriors themselves, but they burn overshield as well. So a phenomenal job by Quadrant to not only get that cap, but to keep control of the map. And look at what that control has transitioned into. It's NURIX with another flag run.
Online warriors did get a flag capture. It was a little bit desperate at times, but they got it over the line. In terms of control, Quadrant have looked the stronger. And that is why they have regained the lead. Phlux has a sword, though, and that's going to help their cause. Ultimately, though, he has been dispatched. He has lost his life. 3 dead. Mose the last remaining member on the team. As SLG waits for that flag to get returned, and as it does, communication on point. They now double their lead, 3-1 the score.
Look at SLG with the skewer back in hand. You can see him prioritizing this as a power weapon. The damage that he's been able to do so far throughout this game. He's got 12, 3 and 5 to his name so far. Respectful trying to keep up with him, but unfortunately in the score line, it's 3-1 right now. Quadrant have been able to set the pace, but just like that, 2 go down. They lose Mose, but they grab a flag to transition this to a potential 3-2 game.
Respectful lost the flag for a moment, but has finally touched base with it once more. Juggles it well over the halfway point now, and if they can avoid damage for this flag carrier, it looks as though his teammates are doing a fantastic job for him to try and secure this one. But will they be able to send it home? Information has come through. It's going to be another flag standoff as phlux tries as he might to do the damage for his team. Tries to get away over towards spike grenades, unable to do so, but we have another flag standoff, Wes.
The flag standoff, and you can almost bet that the team that gets the return may have a good opportunity to get a counter cap, or to get a second cap as well. So how important for Online Warriors is it that they win this one? SLG already going to be up in their face, already going to be hopping on the return. There's multiple members to try and deal with, though. Snakey, he takes him down. Mose tries to get another touch. He does that, but unfortunately for Quadrant, they're not there. Actually, an overshield player out of nowhere. He shows up, finds a double, and with phlux, the last player alive, he's gonna actually get sliced. Dice made slight work of. It's a killing spree, triple kill for Shad, but not only that, the 4th flag is gonna get punched in. A great job by Quadrant to win that one and prioritize the overshield before pushing, and look at the damage the overshield was able to do.
Quadrant have no interest in the Online Warriors Cinderella story. This isn't Disney. They're in the homeland. They're in the French backyard here. 4-1. Catalyst has been all one-way traffic at times. Quadrant have done the damage here. And they could be, and you couldn't back against them punching in a 5th flag. But what can Online Warriors do? Skewer has been so influential. Overshield, as it always is, in securing flags for the team. These picks are going to be so important for Respectful just to get them back in, but it's 2 have gone the way of Quadrant once more. And if this keeps on happening, Online Warriors are in trouble of not only losing the game, but the series.
Quadrant have found their footing in the series on the back of the superstar in SLG. Starting to heat up, 17, 3 and 10. It might have been a quiet first couple of games for SLG, but you can bet that SLG is going to wake up throughout this best of 5, and just like that, he's been a difference maker here in game 3. What looked like a conversation around Online Warriors going up 2-0 potentially, and making statements heard around the EU scene, is only Quadrant seizing the opportunity to not see a send here in the winners bracket finals. They see only an opportunity to find themselves in the grand finals, and with that, they're going to be so narrowly close to being a game away, now up 4-1.
And Shad has picked up yet another overshield. Online Warriors, they were successful in game 1 of controlling the sandbox, but game 3 and indeed game 2 have been very, very different stories here. Quadrant have found that extra gear. They're on the soft tires now. Game 3 goes the way of Quadrant. They're 1 game away of taking this series and entering into grand finals through the winner's side for the first time in a very long time.
Game 3 was a much different story. That's the Quadrant that almost beats Sentinels. That's the Quadrant that's woken up and looks to be the best team potentially in EU. You know that they want that title to themselves. That is something that, although they got top 8, although they had a hell of a performance against some of North America's best, what a statement it would be to come out and win the Pro Series with a Sin falling short against Online Warriors earlier today. There's potential that they'll have to play a Sin later on today, but they have to focus on getting to the grand finals, and it looks like they are locked in on that focus, with SLG starting to wake up here in game 3.
Let's talk about it then. Quadrant, we spoke about how they found that extra gear, but for Online Warriors, is this just a little bit too much, a little bit tough, with them only just coming together and forming, like heading into that best of 5 territory? Is this one scalp too far? Are they a little bit punch drunk, and if they ran out of steam, do you think?
Not sure. I think game 4 will tell us a lot about the answer to that, to be honest. But I mean, it really is that control of the map and how they went about getting control, right? Look at the prioritization from the very start on Skewer's side of the map. They not only secured the Skewer, but they got the overshield to pair with it. And that was massive. Just try and set the pace, right? Like when SLG has a sniper-like weapon in his hand, that one-shot kill that the Skewer can give you, and then you pair that with the buffed overshield that's now in Halo Infinite that gives you so much opportunity to brute force your way into bases. I mean, it just gave them every single bit of a chance to play from a leading position. And when you play from the lead, you're able to play so much more comfortably, right? And I think that that's something that Quadrant has shown us throughout the series, is that when they've had the lead, they look great. In game 1, when they weren't really able to find their footing, it looked pretty chaotic. Vice versa for Online Warriors as well. So what can Online Warriors do to come out, start strong here on Streets Oddball, and then transition that into the mid game, into finding success along the way? I think that it's going to be vitally important that this break, this starting strat for Online Warriors, it goes well and they're able to continue that momentum, hopefully to a round 1 victory. If not, Quadrant could never look back from that game 2 performance where they really stepped up on Aquarius Slayer, because game 3 was all Quadrant really, and we'll see if that's the same storyline. Fortunately for Online Warriors, they dominated game 1, which was Streets King of the Hill. They find themselves back on the streets, which could be a comfort pick for them if they're able to find success here.
We do have a very small sample size of games that played in game types indeed for Online Warriors, but they were successful against Navi and Oddball earlier in the tournament. The Quadrant are asking different questions of them now, and SLG opens up the first kill. Not only that, but he walks away scot-free with the rockets in his hand. Snakey could die, but somehow manages to thrust his way out of danger. One rocket down over towards Arcade, has now been recovered by Shad. But opening strats, opening engagements favor Quadrant. They've got rockets and they've got ball.
Yeah, completely different storyline yet again from the start of game 1. It's all Quadrant here so far. They've got ball in the back of Tram, and Quadrant, I mean, this is a game type map mode combo that they've been playing for quite a while. Not too much has changed on Streets Oddball since the game came out, and we'll see how dominant this first setup looks. How crisp are Online Warriors at breaking potential setups that Quadrant have right now? It's up to phlux, and unfortunately NURIX getting the better of phlux there is going to mean Quadrant awards themselves with even more ball time to start this one off.
How polished are Online Warriors then? They've shown great potential. They've already claimed victory against 2 of the top European teams. But Quadrant look to be finding those extra gears. 2 kills in favor. Mose and Snakey hit the respawn screen at the hands of SLG, who's been having a very impressive series so far. NURIX gets the information from SLG to rotate that ball out, and he will oblige the call from the captain. Respectful clambers his way towards Commando. TchiK falls victim this time. 2 dead here for Quadrant. Ball has been dropped and played out bottom middle, and Online Warriors have finally put their hands on it and start to score their first and opening points. It's going to be in the hands of Respectful. Expertly plays his life this time after taking the initial damage. Slays though favor Online Warriors, but if only for a moment, as now it's traded back again. Mose and Snakey in the respawn screen, but will Quadrant be able to close the gap onto Respectful, as that ball has now been dropped? It's a 1v1 with Shad, but the damage has been done by phlux with the use of that stock rifle, and indeed the plasma grenade has put him away. Ball down though, nobody able to put their hands on it just yet. The lead regained and stays on the Quadrant side of things.
Yeah, more importantly though, rockets were up in the meantime, and I'm not quite sure who's been able to get those. It looks like it's going to be a member on Quadrant, but at least a trade comes through. Phlux doing a good job to stay alive with this stalker rifle, finds himself these rockets now, and although no ball time able to be awarded, you want to be able to throw that to a teammate, put these to work, and yet just like that, it's a killing spree once again for phlux as he puts those rockets to work. Some ball time is going to be accrued now, and only down 20 points. Not too bad of a start for Online Warriors, especially the way the start of the game actually went. How heavily it was against them from Quadrant's favor, and Quadrant now looking like they're almost pushing in solo attempts, and that could be exactly what Online Warriors need.
An impressive life that was from phlux. After he used that rocket, only had a shotgun. You can see how desperately he wanted to close the distance. He done so successfully. Respectful though with the Bulldog, not able to get anything going this time. Engagement's going to come around plants here. Shad caught in no man's land, managed to pick up one, but didn't know where the damage was coming from after that. Phlux and Snakey picked up two, but it's a 2v2 on the map now. Ball down in arcade. Would have been very close to being reset, only for NURIX to put his hands on it and throw it down towards Drive 8 to his fresh spawners. Heads up play from him, but the collapse is coming from Online Warriors, who have all 4 members up to the 2 for Quadrant. TchiK picks up one onto Phlux, as does Shad. This is some good trading back and forth, but all this time, Quadrant remained the lead. 2 minutes and 40 on the clock.
What a play by Respectful there. I know he skipped to a couple players' point of views, but he was able to stay alive, get his shield back, re-engage into the fight, re-impact the game. He finds himself 2 kills, some ball time as well. And although he may statistically may not be having the strongest game as of right now, plays like that can be so influential to the outcome. We'll see how Online Warriors are able to capitalize, but unfortunately for Online Warriors fans, TchiK has made his way away with those rockets, and although he goes down, it's in SLG's hands now, and Quadrant have done a great job to secure these power weapons, and we know how influential they've been throughout the series.
There's a couple of times they managed to secure the rocket launcher. They have lost them in the process, though, very early after picking them up, but SLG finds a home for one, looking to trade out and brawl with the second. Doesn't opt to fire it this time because he will lose a teammate in the process and didn't want to put that damage down. But now we have seen the rockets in control. As Respectful fires one what can only be described towards a ghost, as there's nobody there, will not find a home, but he has got the ball and they have got the lead, and now they're going to invite the pressure of Quadrant. These next few slays are going to be so important, and they have gone in Quadrant's favor, but they have to close the distance very quickly.
Yeah, what was once a 40-point lead for Quadrant now is an 8-point lead for Online Warriors. They've done such a good job to come back in this game. Mose is going to be surrounded here, but fortunately for him, his teammates pick up 3 kills. That eliminates any pressure from Quadrant, and the last player alive, he spotted out. He's actually staggered with his death. And because of that, Quadrant are going to have to wait for NURIX to come off spawn. And Online Warriors is going to build on this lead now, looking to take round 1. Pushing this past 64 points is big. They're able to find a few more kills. And I mean, what looked like was going to be dire moments here at the start of round 1 is now a very highly competitive round 1 that favors Online Warriors, actually, with the second half going in their favor.
A minute and 15 left in the clock then. 20 seconds separating these two teams. And how Quadrant need to get their hands on the ball very quickly. But unfortunately, Mose is going to run into some trouble. Respectful will clean up after his long-term duo. 1 minute then before securing round 1. Online Warriors have the advantage here. Shad picked up one. Phlux has secured the rockets for his team. Boombox over the shoulder, fires one towards L, fires a second one, but it's doing nothing but smoke damage. Splash damage will be enough this time as NURIX falls once more for his team. He has been the first pick on more than one occasion here for his team, but SLG has the ball back tower. Can he keep it there though?
Yeah, SLG's gonna have a lot of pressure to try and deal with. Unfortunately, Mose with the thrust makes it so difficult for him to land that shot, and because of it, there's a successful push from Online Warriors. And we can talk about the lack of kills that maybe those rockets produce, but removing them from the win condition of Quadrant, from the pressure that Quadrant would have been able to have, may just have been enough for Online Warriors. They find 3 more kills. The last player alive, he's on Cafe. He's got multiple players to deal with, and Mose continuing to use that thrust to be aggressive, to change the outcome of individual fights. Finds himself another one, but you want to see that ball in one of their hands. You want to see them continue to push this lead. 20 seconds remain, Jersey, and with that ball neutralized, it's going to benefit Online Warriors for now, but they don't have too much of a lead to where if Quadrant get a few slays, they can change the outcome of this game quickly.
Online Warriors choosing to prioritize having 4 guns on the map and not trying to extend that lead. But now the fear might be realized, but no, Respectful and Mose, they answer back and may make sure that ball is dropped and will not be played. Round 1 will go towards Online Warriors, and they're 1 round away from pushing this winners finals to a game 5.
All right. Can Online Warriors do it? Can we see a game 5 here today? It's our first best of 5, and these teams look so highly competitive with one another, but we need Online Warriors to keep up the consistency of the power weapon control they had in round 1. We'll see if they're able to do that. Snakey finds himself the first kill of round 2, and that should be the opening that Online Warriors need.
Online Warriors proving they're here to play. They are not punch drunk, and they are ready to send home yet another French team and put them in the elimination bracket once more. TchiK back down by the rockets. Phlux does enough this time. Fires another one towards the statue, but again, will not find a home. But this time, Snakey on hand. Put that kill away from the initial damage. Mose has put Shad in the respawn screen, ball down in towards Tram, and it's exactly where Online Warriors want. This fight's going to be so big, and Phlux gets a huge trade.
A massive trade, and kills continuing to benefit Online Warriors so far here in round 2. A 27-0 lead, a much different start for Online Warriors. And ever since that hot start in round 1 from Quadrant, they really haven't gained any control, really haven't significantly changed any of the storyline that Online Warriors have been able to put on. 3 dead once again. SLG trying to deny this ball from getting into Tram, and I love that play by Respectful. Do not risk going down, just stand behind the pillar. It's the only angle they have on you, and because of that, look how well Respectful is playing this, dropping the ball, putting some significant damage onto another member, staggering the members of Quadrant once again, and now racking up some more ball time. You can't play any more perfect than Respectful is right now.
Heads up play, but Respectful. Head on a swivel, locked in, lasered. Listening to all the call-outs that his teammate are given, but they are slaying around him too to ensure that his position as the ball carrier is not under threat just yet. Phlux has been picked, but yet again, NURIX has hit the respawn screen. He is the latest addition to this team, but this oddball has not gone the way he would have liked. 7-19 right now. Still time to turn that story and turn this tale a different way. But he's running out of time as the lead for Online Warriors currently stands at 57 seconds to 0. And Phlux has his 3rd set of rockets in succession.
I mean, Phlux doing such a good job to impact the fight for rockets every single time they're coming up. That's why Online Warriors are having so much success regarding the control of these things, and because of this, he's just been able to do so much damage. 57-0 now in round 2. Online Warriors looking on all cylinders, and I mean, taking a look at the ball time, Jersey, that's the statistic that's pointing out to me the most. 102 seconds for Respectful, what has predominantly been a main slayer for his team throughout his entire career. He finds himself being dropped from Navi. He finds himself needing to figure out a way to potentially change his play style. Not only is he 17, 13, and 12, but that 102 seconds of ball time shows me that he is fixated on being the objective all-around player that he can be. He did that earlier today with 140 points in the last ball. We watched them against Navi, and because he's focused on that objective, it has been the difference for Online Warriors yet again.
You're rightly highlighting how well Respectful is playing, because he has 102 seconds of ball time, but Snakey, who only has 13 and compared to him, is only now 5 kills ahead of him in the slay category. So not only is he putting the ball time in ways, he's getting the kills when the team need him, and he's recognizing exactly when it's time to use the gun and exactly when it's time to use the brain. So he's knowing when to hold him and knowing when to fold him here for his team. But they now have a 64-point advantage. They continue to rack up points. They brought the ball all the way from station to all the way to top tower, and the Quadrant have yet to be able to get their hands on the ball.
69-0 now. The ball gets played, and another heads-up play by Respectful. You lose numbers, you know you're under pressure, you drop it. Can you get a kill? The answer may not be yes, but a great job to play the ball. And look at this. Doesn't over challenge, stays alive, gets his shield back, and now he gets to compete. His teammates, they pick up the kills. Online Warriors' teamwork looks phenomenal right now. Their ability to keep Respectful alive to where he is able to stay alive. He's not over challenging like he's been known to do in the past. He's not giving up his life for free, and because of it, he has allowed his teammates the opportunity to help him. And look how impactful he was. He was able to find the rockets, find another kill, use that second rocket before getting taken down. And I mean, we can't say enough good things about this entire team. I mean, even Phlux with 31, 17, and 14 having a hell of a game in the slaying category, but it really is the entire roster popping off.
Phlux playing like an absolute demon. Looking at the kill category, he has over double the kills of NURIX, and indeed over double the kills of SLG right now. So that's going to show you just how impressive a game that Phlux is having here for his team. This is the first semblance of control that Quadrant have had in round 2, though. Can they make it pay? Can they make it stick? First pick, though, will go the way of Online Warriors. Is 3 dead momentarily for the boys on Quadrant. Ball has been played out bottom tower, but the damage has already been done with 1:45 on the clock. They only require 18 seconds now to Online Warriors to push this one to a game 5.
Ball back tower. One last push is all Quadrant are going to have, and this wall going to make this push even just a little bit more difficult. The Bulldog shotgun's going to make it a lot more difficult. Finds a player to no shield. A couple of brute grenades. You've seen how much damage those can do. And although NURIX gets behind enemy lines, able to find that kill under the ball carrier, the rest of the team under so much pressure and damage. It's up to Mose now to try and end this one for now. Able to find one, make it a double, and Mose showing you just a sample of what he's capable of back tower.
4 points is all that's required for Online Warriors then. phlux, the ball is in his hands. He's got it in his grasp, ticking the points back tower. He will get the points required. A 2-0 oddball victory. We're going to game 5. It's 2-2 in this series. What a performance from Online Warriors as they look to put the pressure on and make it the grand finals.
Honestly, just so impressed with the entire team overall. Watt talked about it. When we had a conversation yesterday and I looked at this roster, I was like, this is a lot of talent. If these guys can mesh well, if they can figure out a play style that they're all comfortable with, they're going to be dangerous, and they look to be dangerous. I thought it may just be the best of threes, maybe some new team fire, minimum in that category, but I mean, this team may be here to stay with the way that they're playing. With more practice, with more preparation, who knows what this team could be capable of. But right now, phlux showing you that although he may be the least known on this team, he's making big numbers happen. He's making a statement that this is the opportunity he needed to shine.
Well, one thing I will say is Wes has found a way to say Lottie talked about it and then to prove how right Wes actually was. That was really... Lottie talked about how right I was. Look how right I actually have proven to be. This has gone all the way to game 5.
How right I was.
Wes always finds a way to be right, even when he's wrong. I think I've seen a lot of tweets copy-paste of how Optic have won every tournament, but he quickly deletes them whenever it doesn't go that way. So he doesn't stay long enough.
There's nothing deleted.
All we do know is, Wes, our attention will turn very quickly to Slayer on recharge. And with how this series has gone right here, right now, I do not want to predict which way this is going to go.
No, honestly, it's been a battle of control. And I don't mean to beat that horse dead, but it really has been the team that's in control, the team that has dominated the story of the power up, the power weapons. They've also dominated the score. That game 2, that game 4, it was not close. Online Warriors set the tone. They were so comfortable. And although we can caveat it with they've won 2 Streets games, those Streets games have looked dominant. So maybe on the smaller maps, maybe on the maps where they're able to rotate towards each other faster, to be able to impact the game quicker, they are more comfortable at playing that fast-paced gameplay rather than Quadrant, who is a little bit slower of a team when it comes to strategy, setups, and methodical Halo play, right? It's not necessarily that Cloud9-esque gameplay when you're watching Quadrant at their best. Online Warriors, a little bit more towards that fast pace, that flying, that consistent amount of pressure. I believe game 5 is going to be live fire, and live fire Slayer, it can be pretty fast paced when you're rotating correctly. That overshield is going to be extremely influential on the outcome of this game, however, and the snipe being up, we saw what SLG and NURIX were able to do at Kansas City. So if you're Online Warriors, you need to make sure you're prioritizing getting that weapon the hell out of their hands before they change the outcome of the game.
Well, game 5 is actually, it's recharge, so Slayer recharge. But looking at game, I was going to bring up the point. Games 1 and 4 were dominant for Online Warriors. Game 2 and 3 dominant for Quadrant. So do we expect to see the open engagements here, if it goes heavily in favor of one team, that they might be able to close out the game here, Wes?
I think recharge will benefit Quadrant a lot more. So often do we see recharge Slayer, especially in game 5, slow down and become a snail's pace. I think that that's going to benefit Quadrant immensely with their communication, with their ability to talk about strategies. We're going to learn a lot about Online Warriors, I feel, in this recharge game 5, and camo control, shock rifle, you know how much damage those can do. So look for those to be pivotal in the success for both these two teams. And we're going to kick this one off with the man of game 4. It's going to be phlux. And already backing down SLG is a good start for Online Warriors.
phlux does opening damage. Does get picked though. 3-1 here for Quadrant. Camouflage has just about escaped with his life. It's that man TchiK. He now looks over towards bottom Magner, and Snakey slips away, slithers away. Bottom elevator. Respectful has the shock rifle. Lands one body shot onto the camouflage player. Desperately tries to stay alive. Unsuccessful, but it has been traded out this time. 5 kills to 3. Shad, sword in hand. Attention on glass. Mose is no longer with us. He has dissipated now. Cut in half. But Shad recognizes that grenades have done the damage. Tries to back away. Unable to do so. It's a 2-kill game.
It's a 2-kill lead for Quadrant, but a few mistakes from Quadrant so far. They had camo, but you thought was going to be an easy kill on Respectful. Wasn't. It actually gets traded out, and trading with camo is not something you want to do. The sword player, he gets traded out as well. And Snakey getting 3 kills here on screen, making it 7 for the game. Has his entire team's kills, making it 8 right now. Snakey and Online Warriors both have 8 kills. Snakey is absolutely popping off right now, and somehow, some way, they still maintain a 1-kill lead over Quadrant.
Well, Snakey picking up all of his team's kills until right now is very close. If that's me, I'm tagging out. I'm saying, lads, listen, I've done my job. I'm getting no more kills now. It's up to you from here on out.
You can't tap out before you get to 10 kills in a Slayer in game 5.
I'm doing it. I'm tagging out. That's me done. I've done the damage I need to do.
Your team needs you, Jersey.
I'm going 8 and 17 by the end of this game. That's a promise. One player that will show no signs of that. Gonna be Respectful. Sword in the back pocket. 3 assists to his name. Waiting patiently for a player to step out of line top tower. It will not come just yet, but he's tapping his watch. He does step out eventually and gets that kill, but ultimately gets traded out. 4 dead momentarily. Snakey, the first man off the respawn screen. We're all tied up. TchiK recognizes that Shad has camouflage, and Snakey is completely isolated here from the rest of his team.
Another camo in the Quadrant's hands. If it's anything like the Aquarius game, this one could get ugly. You saw how dominant Quadrant looked when they were able to secure several camos in a row. To pair that with the sword, this could be devastating for Online Warriors. They have to be looking everywhere for him. Unfortunately, he's able to close the gap, but another trade. So that's a success. And look at that, 4 dead for Quadrant. You trade with camo sword. That's a win if you're Online Warriors, and a massive one at that, because now you get sword control of your own. You have a little bit of map control to play around. And now you get to kind of set the pace. You don't want this game to slow down any further. Unfortunately, you did just see Quadrant with the shock rifle in hand, so they're going to have to watch out for that one. But I love how Online Warriors have been able to respond so far here in game 5 with the power control that Quadrant have really had.
Heads up by Snakey, recognizing that if he did step out there, it would have been a mistake not trying to step out and give Quadrant the chance that they need and the numbers advantage that they need to close the distance on the rest of his team. Opts to stay alive this time, prioritizes living. As a result of that, NURIX has been picked. 19 kills to 17 then. Game has started to slow down. Very little happening around the map as both these teams recognize if they lose here, odds are they face Ascend, and being 1 game away from grand finals, then having to play Ascend, the lower side of things, is not good for anybody's morale. I can tell you that. But SLG creeping into bottom tower, but it might be into the hands of Snakey, who doesn't opt to get greedy this time. Plays it patient once more. SLG pops out, underpass, gonna get a couple of shots. That's gonna be enough here. 19 to 19, we're all tied up. 8 minutes on the clock, and that will mean the camouflage is just about ready to pop out of the oven as the propulsor play comes through, pushed off the map. 22 to 21 here. Online Warriors regain the lead. 1 kill though is all it is.
What a play by Mose to get the kill to win his 1v1. He knew that there was a player behind him. He knocks him off the map. Even though he's no shield, he gets that repulsor off, and because he's able to do that, he goes 2 for 1 there to give his team the lead. To subside some of the pressure that Quadrant was able to put on, that was massive. Snakey with 11 to his name, still a push and long haul in the entire battle. He's gonna benefit Respectful. The triple kill, picks up the shock rifle, can't quite find the overkill. But when Respectful has a snipe, you better watch out. And right now, Quadrant need to be calculated because Respectful is so dangerous. He finds SLG, phlux finds a second, Respectful finds a third with a little bit of damage, and that's gonna allow the rest of the team to try and push these players' elevator.
phlux steps out just a touch, but it's enough to lose his life. 5 kill though. 4 of them coming from Respectful alone. What a semblance of control they have now. 4 kill game. But this can swing back around with 1 clean wipe. As we now are well and truly in crunch time. Trades come. phlux picks up 2 kills though. It's more than trades. 3 dead. SLG, the last remaining member here in this push, and he's isolated. He's all alone over towards Needles, and all 4 members of Online Warriors turn their attentions to him. The lead now grows again.
Quadrant try to play that aggressive play style in the pipes. They walk into a 2v2 situation. Online Warriors go 2 for 1 there. They get a kill across the map. And all of a sudden, this lead blown wide open. It's up to 7. Snakey with sword in hand. If he can stay alive, impact this battle for camo, which he should be able to. This player's long haul. Unfortunately, he gets caught sprinting. And unfortunately, he's surrounded. He's going to lose that sword. Not only that, the grapple and potentially camo going into the hands of Quadrant as well. So that life you're going to want back if you're Snakey, but fortunately you've done damage so far throughout this game to award yourself room for a few mistakes.
SLG passes the sword over to his camouflage player in Shad. Responsibility now on Shad to get the kills that his team need. First one's going to come. Phlux, he has to back out, and why as he decides he does, but he steps back in. They think he's gone. He's not. He's back for more, and he's hungry. Slicing and dicing. It's a 4-kill game. But Online Warriors only require 10.
Only require 10. 4 kills separate the 2. Respectful. Under so much pressure right now. Continue to be weak. He knows he's going to get pushed. Can't get the trade, unfortunately. SLG trying to stay alive. Bottom stairs does so. And look at that. Kills going in their favor ever more. 40 to 41. Now just a 1-kill game. And SLG has found himself the shock rifle.
SLG tries 1. We're all tied up. Can he find some more? 3 members of Online Warriors crouching, cowering in long haul as the Frenchmen now descend. They're going to make a coordinated push one way. SLG opts this time to prioritize different angles. He shifts one way and he finds the score of another, as he so often does. They have a 1-kill advantage here. NURIX has picked up another one. Quadrant have come big in the final exchanges of this game. NURIX desperately trying to live. Repulsor play comes through, but the damage has been done. It's a 2-kill game. Quadrant make it 3 as Repulsor. The force push once more. TchiK picks up a double kill. They only require 4. What a performance out of Quadrant here, but they need to hold on.
Mose is surrounded. He needs to figure out a way to play his life here. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to get a kill, and because of that, just 3 is all Quadrant need, but now they're stuck back blue. The pressure from Online Warriors. They find themselves kills, but in the meantime, SLG finds himself a camo. Can he get here in order to impact the fight? A massive 1v1 respectful SLG, but Mose helps them out. Unfortunately, Phlux goes down 46 to 48. You're down 2. Sword is up, but look at that. Another kill. Mose is taken down, and now no room for error for Online Warriors.
1 kill for Quadrant to make it the grand finals, and it's come. They bounce back. They did it the hard way, but Quadrant are going to grand finals. They do win that game 5. Fantastic performance out of them. Incredible.
SLG with that shock. The second he picked it up, the game changed forever. Multiple kills. All 4 members of Online Warriors were stuck long haul, and trying to get out of that position is one thing, but trying to get out of that position when SLG's anchoring with the shock rifle, knows exactly where you are, it's almost impossible. And the second he finds that pick and they try to push into blue, they know that they have a numbers advantage, that they have an opportunity to continue to push that advantage. And with that, it went from like a 41 to 41 game to 46-41, and all of a sudden what looked like was going to be a win for Online Warriors completely flipped on its head with 1 overextension with the sword from Snakey. If he could have it back, he would take it back, but unfortunately the lesson had to be learned in the hardest way, and that's a game 5 loss.
And Phlux, who had been having such an impressive series, it must be said, in game 5 he registered 7 kills and 17 deaths, and it's just not good enough against the caliber of player that Quadrant are. But it was looking so good for so long for Online Warriors. They had a 7-kill advantage at one point, but somehow Quadrant have found a way, and they get into grand finals, and this time they have the insurance policy of a reset.
A double back here from Shad. I thought he was going to for sure drop down bottom middle. Everyone on Online Warriors thought he had gotten out of dodge as well, but that double back just secures easy kills with that sword. And camo control once again. when Quadrant was able to dominate the story of the camo, how dominant they looked in the game. And although it took a while for them to really gain the lead significantly, it really felt like it was a matter of time, right? Like how they execute strategy just is so obvious. And that's why I thought Recharge Slayer was going to be a tough one to win for Online Warriors, because when the game slows down, Quadrant's going to have their shit together, right? Like they're going to have everything as far as like, how are we setting up for camo? They already know that. They've been doing this for months. Online Warriors, they probably don't have too much practice as a team coming in. And when moments like the pressure of a game 5, when it's 41-41 and camo's coming up, how are you setting up for it? How are you getting out a long haul? Things like that still need to be discussed. And that's where they found themselves slipping in the series.
You spoke about strategies, and rightfully so, and then the camouflage and how influential it was, Wes, and the reason why they were so well practiced. But they got 3 camouflages for free at times. SLG, that final camouflage was the freest camouflage he's ever going to get in his life. And in a game 5 against players who have been around the block, they know that camouflage is important. That's criminal on the side of Online Warriors.
It is criminal. And it's lessons learned, right? I think that there's going to be massive opportunity for these guys to learn from these mistakes. I mean, Online Warriors, I'm sure when they put this team together, they didn't think they'd have everything figured out. So